Welcome to more Slay the Spire. I know I feel like I recorded a lot today because of this new mic. I'm just so happy I got a new one. Um, I am not only playing Slay the Spire, I am going back and forth between homework too. Like, I have a second page up. Like, I'll show you like this. I'm going back and like doing this and that at the same time. It's about 10 at night. And so here we are with some Slay the Spire. I also wanted to do more topical video around this time because I think this is important to talk about. Also, thank you so much for anyone who just recently subscribed today or this week or ever, really, because that means a lot to me. It really does mean a lot. It means that I get to keep doing what I like doing and get to keep reaching out to the people I want to reach out to, and it shows me that people are listening and watching, and plus it's fun. It's a lot of fun to play Slay the Spire. I also have a Final Fantasy video up if anyone wants to watch me play Final Fantasy 4. I know Final Fantasy is one of those games you can't really, you gotta do it in like big chunks. Like, you can't like play an hour game and just upload it because it's a 60-hour game. So I do plan to do it in bigger chunks. I have school and other things, so I have not been able to. Well, I just started it today. I just premiered playing Final Fantasy 4. Why do I keep forgetting which one it is? And it's a lot of fun. It's really pretty. And please go check it out. I do want to keep doing those too. I am probably being a little irresponsible by playing Slay the Spire because I probably should be doing that homework and doing that paper. I got a good bit of it done, but I think I misread something. I think I have to look for research at the end of it. It's really annoying. But that's okay. That's not the class I'm doing bad in. The class I'm doing bad in, or not bad in, the class I'm doing that I need to pay attention to how I'm doing in, that one I shouldn't neglect. But yeah, before I get started, I want to say, please subscribe for more content like this. I usually play games like Slay the Spire and other games as well, like Final Fantasy 4. I've been mostly playing Slay the Spire because I want to beat the Spire with this character. It takes me a long time, but I'm more intent on just doing it over and over again. I also talk about having ADHD. ADHD has dominated my whole life in a negative way, and I like to use this channel to help encourage other people. Also, like, more emotional regulation that comes from, I think it comes from my ADHD, is also something that I deal with. I talked about it in my last videos where, like, I actually was affected by it recently and how I dealt with it and how I used to deal with it in the past and how it's much better. I also talk about, mental health, therapeutic concepts, things of that nature. And I haven't been talking too much about that recently. I've been using these videos to just relax and decompress, but since I got a new mic, I really want to redo a video that I did before when I was playing Hollow Knight, but I want to do it again, and that's on the topic of loneliness, because I feel like a lot of the people that ask to subscribe, oh no. Stupid. Fall in that category, and so I'm going to do my best to play Slay the Spire and go point for point when it comes to, on the topic of loneliness as best I can. Okay. And usually, like, when I'm ascending the Spire, like, the first act isn't too difficult to, there's an elite. Never mind, I say that and then I see an elite. Isn't too difficult to, uh, what am I trying to do? Okay, this is not a good run. I might need to start it over. But I'm quick to want to start over a run. I don't start runs over, but I always I think about it quite often. So I used to deal with loneliness in a way where it felt like it was gonna suck me in. Um, it didn't matter how many friends I had because I have the closest friends that I've ever had. I've found them like in the recent years, in my later 20s. But even still, I dealt with it, and I've seen people talk about it and just that sense of hopelessness. And I was there, and I'd look up videos about uh, trying to find, like, is anyone else, like, is anyone else out there have this feeling of loneliness, like, oh, don't want to be here anymore. And I try to be super candid on this channel, so that's why I mentioned those. And I should say, I keep forgetting to say, like, trigger warning before you watch this. If that kind of stuff disturbs you, this is probably not the video for you. These probably are not the videos, or this one specifically. I'm trying to make sure all my videos don't mention thoughts like that, but okay. But I used to be heavily affected by it to the point where I told myself, this is going to be something, I'm going to be outrunning this feeling for the rest of my life. It's going to affect me that heavily, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. Oh no. I might have to start this run over, but and I apologize, that's what these videos are. I try to, it's more like a chill setting where I'm trying to talk about serious topics while playing this game. But it does not mean that I'm negating the seriousness of the topic, because this topic is very serious to me. I was affected by it in a way where, like, it was an everyday, almost everyday thing. Like, I get home from work, and the thing that would distract me, I was very blessed that the thing that would distract me was the job that I did. I really loved it. I had plans and things I wanted to do in the future, and the biggest issue I had, was the feeling of loneliness. Like, I went to church and everything, but, I would come home, I would have these thoughts that were, I have to start this run over, I'm sorry. I would have these thoughts that were, like, because when I went to church, and this is me being, like, vulnerable about it, when I went to church, it was just me who went. My family didn't go with me, and I didn't live with them, and we didn't have the best relationship, and if we did have a really good relationship, I would have lived with them, not even out of necessity, just because, it's like, I think people look down on living with your parents, but, like, if you're not married, or, like, even if you are married, or if you want to save money or anything, like, and your parents enjoy it, like, good parents generally, even my parents, even though we didn't have the best relationship, they want you to be at home, not like forever, not in a toxic negative way where you're being set back, but they like for you to be at home. Because I had a friend that she's a nurse. Well, she's married now, but she and her all the way up to 29, I think, she lived with her parents, and they had like a big 100-acre, you know, uh, farm where like she worked on. She had animals. She had like a happy life, not, like living with her parents all the way up to an older age. And anyway, that's neither here nor there. But if I had a better relationship with my parents, I would have lived with them. And when I went to church, I just saw everyone was with their families. Everyone had some of their friends and people to talk to. And I had people to talk to, but I would just go home with this empty, bitter feeling. I don't know exactly where it came from, but I would sit with it. I would cry. Um, and it was like, you don't have anyone. Um, uh, it was like, you don't have anyone. You, you're alone. You're, like, I would think thoughts and feel like, wow, it really is true. Like, my existence is a joke in this world. And, and I did believe, like, I believed in God at the time as well, but my belief was waning, because not in a way where I would have like openly sat here and be like, oh, I don't believe anymore, but in a way where, ooh, sorry, there was a scary commercial that came on. I didn't like that. In a way where it was like I feel like I'm holding on to the side of a cliff and I am slipping, and I'm holding and I'm slipping, and like the cliff is actually, like, I haven't fallen yet, and the cliff is a long way down, and I keep slipping, falling, gripping on, and that's what it felt like. It was not a fun feeling, but I'm so sorry, I keep getting off track, and I will say that I keep getting off track with my story, so please bear with me. There's always a good point to when I'm trying to tell a story, or tell a lesson. So yeah, I thought I was going to deal with the feeling of loneliness forever. I was wrong, and I didn't know that, but and these thoughts, they just would come, and I would have this feeling, and I told people, I tried to explain to a friend of mine that I had an existence issue, an issue with existence. And I don't think people, now that I think about it, whenever I tell people this, like, she told me, like, it took her a while to understand it, but, ooh, as you guys can see, I don't really feel like gambling too hard this time around. It was an issue with existence, which means I didn't have an issue with existence, but I felt like I could easily disappear, and it was an awful feeling, and one that just took me to this feeling of despair that I would feel constantly. And in my job, I loved it. I really did love it at the time. Like the second year of my job, I really loved it. And then when I became in management, like I talked about in the last video, my issues became the job, which changed because I'm not there anymore. But ooh, oh gosh, but that issue did end up changing, which I am glad about. But it was usually during the weekends I would feel that way. I remember, and I really want to start by telling my stories with it, and then talk about like what I think about it, and we're going to not sulk in it, but digest it, divide it in our minds, poke and prod at it. But it was the weekends. I remember it was the weekends I remember I even was like, oh gosh, Saturday's coming, and I told the Lord, like, I don't want to die. Like, I was so scared. It felt like this dark. It was gonna get, it's a little dark, but like, it just felt like this dark void. Um, and I call depression a vicious void. I call this like a vicious void too. Like, loneliness, is can lead to depression, which is a vicious void. I think I have enough of those cards. I don't know why I keep buying them. Um, but but yeah, so it was usually the weekends. I remember there was and usually when me and my parents weren't doing the best, like, they were upset with me about something. I don't even remember exactly what. Uh, I remember. Oh, this is not good. This is not. I remember the week of Christmas. It was that week, and I wasn't really talking to them, and I just felt so hopeless and depressed, and it was insane. Like, it was just an insane level of like mental please excuse me, like mental hell that I was going through, and I didn't know how to get out. Like, I just remember, like, it was Christmas Eve, and it's like the worst Christmas Eve ever, because I was laying down and I couldn't sleep, because I was like, I feel like I'm in emotional hell. Like, I can't do this. I, like, God, why would you let me feel this way? This kind of thing. Like, why don't you help? Why don't you help me? My parents, we ended up getting back along. Like, they called me, and I ended up going over to their place, and I did feel better, thank the Lord. But and that's like the story of my life, right? Like, those little fixes at those times, whenever, because he was always there, and he always helped me in each of those situations. And I thought for a long time, I was like, for a long time, I'm not gonna understand, like, why he let me go through that when I came out of it. But yeah, like, I just wanted to give the best picture that I could give about what that time looked like, and like my thoughts around it. Sorry, oh, okay. I think it's like the fastest I'm going to beat him, if I beat him. But yeah, I wanted to give the best picture of it that I could, as I could. I don't know, even to this day, I don't know exactly why it was so deep. The medicine that I take, I'm not gonna lie, it helps me not to spiral into those feelings of loneliness either. Like, I have not spiraled yet, and I used to spiral at least like once a month. I haven't spiraled while I was here, but it looked different. And I have a close friend, so even though, I do have a close friend, and I did at that time too. Well, not in the past, but it's like I had friends, but they were always busy. Everyone was always busy. I starved for social interaction. I remember I even told someone that I was like, I starved for social interaction, and just blamed other people, even though they were busy. And maybe they didn't go about things the right way when it came to me. Like, maybe they didn't pay attention to me as much as they should have. But despite that, I've got to deal with things the way I need to deal with them, instead of blaming them or, you know, I love this one. Instead of putting anything on them. How good am I on time? How good am I on time? I'm sorry for... Okay. But, with that being said, I do want to talk about, like, things that changed my thoughts toward it. So, where should I start with it? So, loneliness is like this spirally feeling that you can get at any random time, no matter where you're at, no matter who you're around. It could be valid. It could be because, you know, your friend's not your friend anymore. Your boyfriend, girlfriend, they're, you know, they broke up with you. Anything like that. It could be for any of those reasons, but those things, they can impact, but they shouldn't push you or keep you in that void. Okay, awesome. If you know what I mean, that's the first way I'll say it. Like, they shouldn't sink you down to the point where you can't get back up. It's not, that's not good. Okay. I'm gonna have to fight an elite. I'm not gonna have a choice. Okay. But, so that's the first thing. Another thing about loneliness is it puts you in this place where you it can feel warm to feel that way. It can feel justified. It can feel all sorts of kinds of ways. But it's not real. You know what I mean? Let me explain that deeper. It's not a real feeling. It's just a place. It's a place you're in. It's a place you were put in. You know, whether, you know, and I believe in things spiritual, so whether you were pulled in that place spiritually or whether you somehow fell into that place, or maybe even you dug your way into it, because I've done that too. Just dug my way into it and didn't know how to get out. Or maybe you struggled so hard to try to get out of it and you couldn't, and you sunk in deeper. So, oh gosh, I hate this one. So, how do you get out of it? And I was in it not too long ago that, like, had that, you know, it just came so randomly, but I didn't spiral. Like, I didn't spiral into loneliness. I just felt this icky, like, purposeless, weird, icky, lonely feeling. Like, I don't know how to all the way explain it, but it just wasn't a good feeling, simply enough. Oh gosh. But I remember at the time, so I'm going to talk about it again, that workbook I made that I'm going to launch at some point. I used it on myself. And I know that sounds like I'm trying to promote it while I'm talking about something serious, but no, that's not it. So I used it to think, okay, to help me think, why am I feeling this way? What is my plan for a spiral? That's what the point was, and that's what the point of the book is, like making a plan for when you're in that place. And oh, I remember now. I used it because it's gonna happen again because I ran out of my medicines and they're not due until Monday. When I sunk into a depression because of lack of medication in my system, that's what happened. And I had to use my emergency tools and go like, okay, Let's let the light in. Let's do the things the book says. Let's do what we're thankful for, whatnot. Um, Wait, let's do what we're thankful. Let's remember what we're thankful for. Let's remember all the good things. Da 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 da. Doing all the things you can. And then this is not a. This is a Christian. This is the Christian base of things. But like finding a friend, and the point of the book is it shows you like what. Oh gosh. It shows you. Where's all my energy at? It shows you like who can you turn to for what, and what can they do for you. So like I have a friend that I can talk to about these things, and then I also have friends that I can ask for prayer. You know, if you believe that way, like I can ask them like, hey, can you pray for me, because I believe in prayer and I believe there's and hope in it, because it's done a lot for me. And like I've had people praying through these things, or I've had people who I went the wrong way. Could I have went the other way? Oh, it would have been the same thing. I've had people who encouraged me and whatnot. So that's one thing. And while I was going through it, another thing I did was I asked ChatGPT. I was like, hey, well, this is for my medications. I need to get reacclimated to my medications. What do I do in the meantime? And it's like drink plenty of water, get light exposure. But we're talking about loneliness. So when you're feeling that feeling, you just remembering. And I'm trying to find a different way to say it, because saying that it's not real seems kind of not intuitive to like what I'm trying to like put out there. It's it's like an illusion. Like I said, it's like a place, because when people are in it, they think the only way I can get out of it, you know, some people when they're in it, not everyone, when you're in a bad state of mind, they're like, oh, I don't have any other option, I gotta life end, you know, that kind of thing. But, and that's where my state of mind went, that's where my mind went, more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, a lot of times, a lot of different, on a lot of different occasions. Oh, I love that one. So, also you need to recognize, you need to recognize your triggers. You need to recognize if you are feeling those thoughts. I need to be an advocate for going to the hospital. Like, go to the hospital if you are in that state of mind. Like, don't I gotta do it for all of them. Don't neglect yourself that. Like, I had been in a situation where I didn't know what to do. I'd text friends, I'd be laying on the floor. I just didn't know how to cope. And it did nothing for me to not go to the hospital. I put so much mental energy into like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't know why, but and I don't know why. Sorry, I need to readjust. Whew. Ow, ow, ow. I don't know why, but I just put so much thought into like I can't go there. It's not gonna benefit me. They don't know what to do. It's not true. They have medicines to help you. They know what to do. They're professionals. If I ever am in that situation again, I would be more inclined to go, because I realize now, like, when you're in that place, it's like your brain's not, you're not right. Like, uh, you're not right in your mind, and you've got to recognize that. You've got to be okay with that. Um, so that's one thing I want to say. So sorry, I was, what's the word? Okay. So sorry, I, got off track on that, but that's a really important subject that I really wanted to bring up. And I really wanted to lay into. So yeah, that's, what is that, like the third thing? The third way to do it? Um, and when you have a thought, when you have that feeling, you need to think, it is important to think that, to understand it's not real, because, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, thoughts, feelings, behaviors. A thought is a thought, and it needs to be taken into contention. And it needs to be, you need to think, oh gosh, I died. Oh, so dumb. You need to think, when you're looking at a thought, does this belong here? You need to think, okay, this is here, this is with me, I'm feeling this way, and this emotion, and I'm having this thought, but do I need to particularly believe it? Do I need to keep entertaining it? And I know how hard that is, and it's something, all of these things that I talk about, they're things that take practice. They take, like, keeping the light, turning the light on and letting the light in. They take practice. They're not like a one and done type thing, so please don't think that, or like the next time, I'm using the wrong guy. The next time you feel that way, that it's going to be easy to get out of it. And I know this is a little more serious than my usual Slay the Spires. Well, not too much more serious, because I do talk about this kind of thing. But, I mean, I thank anyone for listening to it, and I really want this to reach people who deal with this kind of thing and who just don't know, like, what to do mentally when those thoughts and feelings come. And I never had anyone to tell me, because a lot of people don't deal with that. A lot of people have never dealt with loneliness in that way, and a lot of people don't want to think, because when you're in that place, like when you're in depression, you're in a separate place from everybody else. You're in a different realm and dimension that other people can't conceptualize at the moment. If they could, they would tread so much more carefully than they do when they're talking to you about your own issues. I really do believe that, and I think people, and it's not their fault, people don't know. People think that the things that they have experienced are the only real things. That's why there are people out there that don't believe that depression is real. It's just because it's one of those, you can't see it, you don't believe it kind of things. And it's really sad. It's really sad to see. And those people, when you're in that state of mind, those people, and feeling like an outlier, can make it feel worse. It can make it feel so much worse and exacerbate it. And that's why you have to push all those things, like, around you, create like a force field around you in a way. I don't know how better way to say it. Like, separate yourself from everyone else, like, mentally, and not let those things affect it, because it's already hard to deal with in the first place without people putting their opinions on it, about, like, oh, well, if you're lonely, just go around people, or if you're lonely, just make friends. Some people are lonely even if they do have friends. some people just deal with loneliness better. I don't deal with loneliness better than as well as most people. So that's why, like, it led me to the places that it led me. Like, it led me to places and it activated different beliefs and past traumas and things that all combined together to create this amalgamation of this mental place that was specially made for me, and sometimes especially made for you too, to put you in a place where you're like, where you feel awful, where you feel terrible, and you don't feel like you can leave, but you don't realize it's just that place. It is that place. And yeah, if anyone is going through that in a way where they're like, I don't know how to get out of this, I don't know what to do, I'm in the place and I just really don't understand, how to think differently, and you're just in this mental, like, hell, like, and you feel comfortable, like, sharing in the comments or, like, even direct messaging me, like, letting me know I'll pray for you, and I'll ask other people to pray for you too, that I know, like, if you believe in that kind of thing, or even if you don't, but you're just at your wit's end and you want to try something, please, please don't keep it hidden. Please don't keep it hidden. Like, I really do take this kind of thing seriously. That's why it's such a serious video, and why I wanted to talk about it as opposed to, like, because I don't want my videos to just be talking about myself, and I do want to talk about myself to be able to encourage other people, but I also want to talk about topics that I've dealt with in order to help people who are currently going through those things, and, like, it's a current reality for them, or something that they struggle with and can't seem to get out of. Let me kill this one first, if I can kill him, because I'm getting kind of tired. Okay, good. But thank you so much for anyone who took the time to watch this. I really hope it could encourage someone. Let's see. Okay. I really hope this video could encourage someone and could be like a balm to their soul and to their heart, and just give some level of hope. And I mean, you don't have to share if you can just keep it private to yourself if, like, you don't want to let people know, like, how you feel about this kind of video. But I would love to know if you want to comment if this was helpful or encouraging, or if it was weird trying to play Slay the Spire. But that's the content I do. I told you that this is the content that I'm doing, playing Slay the Spire, other games, and bring mental health and emotional regulation type things into what I'm doing, so that I can talk about it, and so that I can reach out to anyone who resonates with it. And just please let me know if you do, and if you are not subscribed and you do, and even if you don't, please subscribe. Even if it, you do think it's useful, at least a little bit, or even if you do resonate with it, like, deeply, please subscribe. Like, I really want people to, I'm not saying that, there are some times when you see situations and you're like, I understand that more than the next person, and I want this person to be okay. That's why I take this seriously. Like, when it comes to, like, that's why I say please subscribe. Like, I Like seeing people actually fall to this kind of thing. I just the thought that people dealt with what I dealt with before. I didn't want anyone. I was like, I don't want anyone to ever feel this way because, or to go through this because it's such a. People don't make it out. Like, I made it out, but people don't make it out of that. Like, I felt that way too many times. The only thing keeping me alive was I just didn't want to die. Like, I didn't want to. I remember I begged the Lord. I, like, was like, please don't let me do it. Like, please don't let me go through with it. And that's me being super real with you guys about that, but that's how seriously I take this topic. That's why this is my passion. That's why, like, I want to do these kinds of things, like post social work masters and reach these kinds of people. And that's why I created that workbook, like, from my experience, because a lot of people don't know, like, they don't understand how to help people who are in a pit that deep. Like, they don't know where to start, and neither party knows where to start. Like, they don't know where to start, and the people who are having those issues don't know where to start. And I just wanted to say that, but I want to say thank you so much for anyone watching. I'm getting tired. I know this video is kind of long. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video. Be blessed. Subscribe, like, comment. I will see you soon.